So you've got an electric vehicle, or maybe you're just seriously thinking about getting one. Well, there's this hidden rule, a secret handshake, living inside the walls of your house that you absolutely need to know. Today, we're going to break down the single most important electrical rule for charging your EV at home. Let's get into it. Okay, so you did it. You drove home that brand new EV. It's sitting in the driveway, looking great. You're dreaming about plugging it in and just waking up to a full tank every single morning. But wait a second. Here's the question nobody thinks to ask. Is your house actually ready for that? Can it handle the charge? It's so important to realize that an EV charger is not like your toaster or your phone charger. This thing is a beast. It's a high-demand appliance that pulls a massive amount of electricity, and not just for a minute or two, but for hours on end. It is seriously one of the biggest power hogs you will ever plug into your house, right up there with your central air conditioner on a hot summer day. And with that kind of power draw, you absolutely cannot just wing it. Getting it wrong is a big deal. We're talking tripped breakers all the time, damaged wiring, or even worse, a fire hazard. So there's got to be a standard, right? A rule that every electrician follows to make sure your home, your car, and your family stay safe. And you bet there is. That standard comes from the one and only authority on all things electrical here in the US. We're talking about the official rulebook. And here it is. The National Electrical Code, or what everyone in the business just calls the NEC. Think of it as the Bible for electricians. It's this massive, detailed document that literally dictates how to safely install pretty much anything that uses electricity. If you can plug it in, I guarantee the NEC has a rule for it. And trust me, this thing is comprehensive. Just look at this table of contents. It covers everything from basic wiring to special equipment, communication systems, the whole shebang. But the one rule we care about today, it's tucked away right there in Chapter 2, Wiring and Protection. So let's zoom in. We are going to focus on one very specific line of text in that enormous book, Rule 220.57. This is it. This is the one you need to know about when you're installing an EV charger. All right, now this is cool because you're looking at the exact official language an electrician has to follow. It says the load for the EVSE, that's just a fancy term for your charger, has to be calculated at either 7,200 watts or whatever the power rating is on the charger itself. And here's the key. You have to use whichever number is larger. Now, I know it sounds technical, so let's break down what this actually means in the real world. So that whole block of text, it really just boils down to a super simple three-step decision. Step 1, your electrician looks at the charger and finds its power rating. That's the nameplate rating. Step 2, they compare that number to 7,200. And step 3, they use the bigger of those two numbers for all their calculations. That's it. It's just a simple greater than test. Okay, so what is the deal with 7,200? Why that number specifically? Well, it's the secret ingredient, the baseline that makes this whole safety rule work so well. This is it. This is the magic number, 7,200 watts. This is the floor. It's the minimum safety standard that the NEC sets for any new EV charger circuit, and it doesn't matter what kind of charger you actually bought. Let me show you exactly what I mean. And this chart just makes it crystal clear. So let's say you go out and buy a charger that's rated for 6,600 watts. Well, since that is less than our magic number, the code says your electrician has to pretend it's a 7,200 watt device for their calculations. They have to use the larger number. But if you get a more powerful charger, say 9,600 watts, then they use that actual rating. Because, you guessed it, they have to use the larger number. So what this rule is really doing is creating a safety buffer. It establishes a safety floor. It forces everyone to treat every new EV charger installation as a serious, heavy-duty load, which is so smart. It stops people from putting in a circuit that's just barely big enough for their charger today, but would be totally undersized and unsafe for their next more powerful EV. Okay, so we've geeked out a little bit on the code, but why should you, the homeowner, actually care about this one little line in a giant technical manual? Well, it turns out it matters a lot. Let's just boil it all down to the key takeaways here. First and foremost, this is all about safety. This rule prevents you from accidentally overloading your home's electrical panel, period. Second, it's about smart planning. It makes sure the job is done right the first time so you're not paying for a super expensive upgrade in a couple of years. And finally, it's about future-proofing. Your next EV is probably going to charge even faster, and this rule helps make sure your house is ready for it. Look, just knowing this one rule empowers you. It lets you have a smart conversation with your electrician and helps you make sure your home is truly ready for this electric future. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? As our homes get smarter and more power hungry, what's going to be the next big thing that needs its very own line in the electrical code?